today. It's a National Day of Reflection. It's a Marie Curie initiative to remember the family and the friends we have lost. On the day we mark 2 years. 2 years since lockdown began. Well, join me now, TV presenter Janet Ellis, whose husband John died from cancer in 2020. Still, feels like no time's gone by, doesn't it? It really does. This is a great idea, though, Janet, isn't it? Just to kind of remember and of course reflect on loss, but also on the good times that you had as well.
Absolutely. They're permanently with me all the time. I, to be honest, don't need a day, but I think a lot of people do. And I think that with grief, and you really only know this when you lose someone, obviously they're bizarrely in the centre, although they're gone.
Right.
And then in concentric circles outside are close friends and family, and then an outer circle of people who knew you well. And I think it's really important for those people to know that on this day, and the rest of the time, they can get in touch with you. It doesn't even need a reply, just to think about it, because I know people think about John all the time.
Of course
but
they do.
It's great when they get in touch to say so.
See, that's so interesting, what you've said, because we are not very good, particularly in this country, about dealing with people who are bereaved.
No.
And there's that thing of, oh, I don't want to say the wrong thing, so people end up not saying anything. There is that thing of, you know, you hear of people crossing the street because not because they're uncaring, just because they think, oh, I don't want to put my foot in it. Yeah. But you can't really, can you?
No, you can't.
You should talk about it.
Absolutely, and I also think we think there's a kind of timeline of grief, so that, you know, after a year it kind of blends into something, and nearly 2 years on, as it is with John, you're coming to terms with it. To be honest, the person who's grieving never does. It doesn't change shape. But of course it does for people outside, and I've been in that position too. But I think we are bad at acknowledging the fact that grief is probably a permanent state, actually, and life goes on alongside it. I still love doing things, I look forward to things, and I haven't become a kind of saint or angel. I'm still highly critical, a bit bossy, all the other stuff that everyone could list. But it doesn't change also your relationship with the person who died, and I think you still love them. And I think that love, and the love that you had as a couple or as a parent or a child, that's what you carry with you too. And I think when people connect with you, it's just fantastic to be able to reflect that out.
Yeah, and to be able to talk about them and remember, you know, it's that thing of, oh, I remember when that happened, or we did this, or that was great fun, and we all really enjoyed that. I think that's really, really important, because it has been 2 years for you, and for an awful lot of people it's maybe longer than that. But it doesn't matter. There's no timetable, as you said. None whatsoever.
Absolutely. Do you know, I've got 5 girlfriends who've lost their partners. They are very differently aged and stage, and in fact, they've mostly never met. When John died, all of them independently said to me, it doesn't stop. And actually, it was really helpful, because I think otherwise, especially in the first really jagged time, you might imagine that you would wake up one morning and think, oh, I didn't think of it first thing. I think of him all the time.
Of course you do.
All the time.
Yeah.
But I think it was really good for them to say, it's going to be with you, because actually it prepares you for that feeling of going on separate, you know, very, very separate.
It's like you're never going to lose that feeling. I guess somehow you have to try and live with it in some way. You have to find a life, because that's what he would want. Yes. You know, John would want you to be happy, or as happy as you can be.
Well, you know, I had a very strong feeling too when he died that whatever happened to me, I wanted him to recognise me. Right. You know, I wanted him to still know who I was, and the person that he loved, and the person he liked spending time with, and I don't want to diminish that side of myself.
Ah, that's so interesting. And he wrote you a beautiful letter, didn't he? He wasn't the most demonstrative, like so many men, you know. He wasn't all sort of romantic as such. But
no, I have no doubt that he loved me very much. But yeah, I don't have a collection of love letters. In fact, we both called each other darling. I mean, that was just a thing. So we never used each other's Christian names. And even he'd subbed that down. So in cards to me, he just put D, cross D. So, you know, no doubt who it was from. And then when he died, our lovely solicitor said to me, well, I've got this letter that John's given me, which we knew nothing about. And I thought it would be music choices, because music was very important to both of us, and particularly to him. So I thought he's definitely going to have said what he wants. And it was that, but it was woven through this speech to be delivered at his memorial, which was an extraordinary thing, because, first of all, we had no idea he'd done it. He even specified, there's a lovely friend of ours called Paul Roseby, and he specified that Paul read it too, if he was able to. And it's got sections about how it's not very long, because he liked those things to be brief, but it's got sections about how he felt about life with cancer, and he was very adamant, as am I, that cancer is not a fight or a battle. You are, in fact, the battleground while the doctors do the work.
Right.
And that you don't lose a battle with cancer if you die with it. In fact, the battle that you've won is to live well with it. And he definitely won that.
That's a fantastic way to look at it, because I know everybody's different, aren't they? Everybody's different. The hard thing, though, it must be for you is that he got cancer in 2016 and he got over it. He got a clear bill of health and then it came back. It's the cruelest disease.
Yeah, it really is, yes.
Yeah.
And I've lost my mother to it, and my lovely friend Karen Keating and Patty Caldwell. I've known a lot of people who have died with cancer, and it is awful. And
but that's why what Marie Curie do is so important, isn't it?
So important.
And today is important. Today is it just kind of taking a minute?
Yeah.
Just taking a minute to remember those that aren't with us anymore. And I guess in a way it's sad, but at the same time uplifting as well, just to remember them in the best way.
Well, I think there's something communal about it too. And I think the one thing that we've learnt over the last 2 weird years is that we are together in some things. And if we are together in that moment, just for that moment, it's immensely powerful.
Really
and if it prompts you to do something, you know, to get in touch with someone or just to remember someone or share a photo, then that's lovely too. Because after all, the Day of Reflection, as Marie Curie rightly says, is really important because it brings everyone together. But as those concentric circles I talked about at the beginning, they go out, they're still there, and we still, you know, drop that stone in the pond and you'll feel it.
It's true. You're a very wise woman. Thank you, Janet. Thanks ever so much for coming in and he was very special, obviously, a very special man.
He was funny, smart, sexy. We never got enough of each other.
Oh, I'm glad you had him for as long as you did. Thank you very much. Thank you. Right, if you need help with grief or loss of any kind, there are, of course, helplines on the ITV website. But I think that's a brilliant day today, a day of reflection. Don't forget, you can watch full episodes of Lorraine on the ITV Hub and all the best clips, compilations and playlists right here on our channel. Just subscribe now and you'll never miss an upload. Click here to watch another video similar to this one, or click here to head to our channel's homepage to explore all of our exciting videos.